Embark on a journey back in time to a land of emperors, inventions, and immense empires. We're exploring ancient China, a civilization whose legacy has not just shaped a nation, but echoed across the entire world for thousands of years. From the legendary Yellow Emperor to the mighty dynasties that followed, this is a story of innovation, philosophy, and incredible human achievement. So grab your virtual passport because we're about to uncover the secrets of one of history's most fascinating and endearing cultures. Our story begins along the fertile banks of the Yellow and Yangtze rivers, the cradles of Chinese civilization. It's here thousands of years ago that early settlements grew into powerful states. The first, according to tradition, was the Xie dynasty. While its existence is still debated by some historians, it's followed by the Shang dynasty, and this one left behind undeniable proof of its greatness. Archaeologists have unearthed incredible bronze vessels, elaborate tombs, and most famously, oracle bones. These were animal bones and turtle shells used for divination. Priests would carve questions onto them, heat them until they cracked, and then interpret the patterns. More importantly, the inscriptions on these bones represent the earliest form of Chinese writing, a direct ancestor of the characters used today. Following the Shang came the Zhou dynasty, the longest reigning dynasty in Chinese history. This era was a crucible of ideas, often called the Hundred Schools of Thought. It was a time of intellectual and cultural awakening, where scholars and thinkers debated the best way to govern, live, and find harmony. Three major philosophies emerged that would shape Chinese thought forever. First, Confucianism, founded by the sage Confucius. He emphasized morality, family loyalty, social harmony, and respect for elders and authority. His teachings became the bedrock of Chinese society, education, and government for centuries. Then came Taoism, attributed to the mysterious figure Laozi. Taoism advocates for living in harmony with the Tao, or the Way, the natural order of the universe. It emphasizes simplicity, spontaneity, and acting in accordance with nature, rather than struggling against it. The concept of yin and yang, representing balance and duality, is a core tenet of Taoist thought. And third, legalism, a philosophy that believed in strict laws and harsh punishments to maintain order. Legalists argued that human nature was inherently selfish and that only a strong, centralized state could control the people. These competing ideas created a vibrant intellectual landscape, the effects of which are still felt today. The end of the Zhou dynasty was a turbulent period known as the Warring States. For over 200 years, China was fractured into several rival states, each vying for supremacy. It was an age of constant warfare, but also one of incredible military innovation. This is when Sun Tzu is said to have written The Art of War, a timeless masterpiece of strategy that is still studied by military leaders and business executives around the world. Out of this chaos, one state emerged victorious, the Qin. Its leader, Yingzhang, was a ruthless and brilliant strategist. In 221 BC, he conquered all his rivals and unified China for the first time. He declared himself Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. His reign was short but incredibly impactful. He standardized everything from currency and weights and measures to the width of cart axles to facilitate transport. Most importantly, he standardized the writing system, ensuring that people across his vast empire could communicate effectively. This was a crucial step in creating a unified Chinese identity. The first emperor was also a monumental builder. He initiated the construction of a vast network of roads and most famously began the project that would eventually become the Great Wall of China. He connected existing defensive walls built by previous states to create a formidable barrier against northern nomadic tribes. But his most breathtaking legacy was discovered by accident in 1974. Farmers digging a well stumbled upon one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century, the Terracotta Army. An entire army of thousands of life-size clay soldiers, horses, and chariots, each with unique facial features built to guard the emperor in his afterlife. It's a silent, awe-inspiring testament to the power and ambition of Qin Shi Huang. However, the Qin dynasty's harsh legalist rule made it unpopular, and it collapsed shortly after the first emperor's death. From its ashes rose the Han Dynasty, an era often considered a golden age in Chinese history. The Han Dynasty ruled for over 400 years and established a period of peace, prosperity, and cultural flourishing. They adopted Confucianism as the state ideology, creating a merit-based civil service system where officials were selected through rigorous examinations on classical texts. This system, though refined over time, would remain a cornerstone of Chinese government for 2,000 years. The Han era was also a time of incredible invention. While we often think of paper as a simple, everyday item, its invention during the Han Dynasty revolutionized the world. It made knowledge more accessible and affordable, leading to a surge in literature and record-keeping. Other key inventions from this period include the seismoscope, an early earthquake detector, the wheelbarrow, and significant advancements in medicine, including the development of acupuncture. The Han Dynasty also dramatically expanded China's horizons. Emperor Wu, one of the most powerful Han rulers, sent his envoy Zhang Qian on a mission to the west. Though his original mission was to find allies, Zhang Qian's journeys opened up a network of trade routes that would become known as the Silk Road. This legendary route connected China with Central Asia, the Middle East, and even the Roman Empire. Silk, a closely guarded Chinese secret, was the most prized commodity, but the route also facilitated the exchange of spices, precious metals, and, most importantly, ideas. Buddhism, originating from India, traveled along the Silk Road and began to take root in China during the late Han period, profoundly influencing its art, philosophy, and culture. Of course, no empire lasts forever. The Han Dynasty eventually declined due to internal power struggles, economic problems, and external pressures, leading to another period of division, but its legacy was secure. The Han established a cultural and political template that future dynasties would look back on and emulate. In fact, the majority ethnic group in China today still refers to themselves as the Han people, a name that speaks volumes about the dynasty's enduring impact. The period following the Han is known as the Three Kingdoms, a dramatic and romanticized era of conflict between the states of Wei Shu and Wu. It's a favorite subject in Chinese opera, literature, and modern video games, immortalized in the classic novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. But China would be unified again under the Sui and then the Tang dynasties. The Tang dynasty is another high point, often seen as a cosmopolitan golden age. Its capital, Chang'an, was the largest city in the world, a vibrant melting pot of cultures with merchants, monks, and travelers from across Asia. Art, poetry, and music flourished. This was the era of the great poets Li Bai and Du Fu, whose works are still memorized by schoolchildren today. Woodblock printing was developed, allowing for the mass production of texts long before Gutenberg's press in Europe. As we move through the Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties, the story of China continues to unfold with more incredible innovations like gunpowder, the magnetic compass, and movable type printing, the four great inventions that would change the course of global history. Each dynasty added new layers to this complex and beautiful tapestry, facing its own challenges and achieving its own triumphs. From the mystical oracle bones of the Shang to the grand ambition of the first emperor and the golden age of the Han, ancient China was a powerhouse of civilization. Its philosophies shaped minds, its inventions transformed the world, and its enduring spirit of unity and cultural identity forged a nation that continues to be a major force on the world stage. The story of ancient China is not just a history of dynasties and emperors. It's the story of ideas, innovations, and a people whose legacy continues to inspire and fascinate us to this day. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this exploration of history, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. See you next time.